From the Detroit Free Press, in the heart of the Motor City, it's Friday, April 24th. Here are today's top stories, presented by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Bush's has over 4,000 Michigan products, including the freshest fruit and vegetables, meat, seafood, and baked goods. Stop by one of Bush's 16 locations for the personal service you expect from your neighborhood grocer.
I'm John Wisely of the Detroit Free Press. The U.S. Constitution guarantees a right to a basic minimum education. So says a federal appeals court. The ruling Thursday came in a 2016 lawsuit filed on behalf of students at some of Detroit's worst-performing schools. Lawyers for the kids had argued that they were denied a chance at literacy. Without that, they could not access other constitutional rights, like voting, joining the military, and serving on a jury. Detroit school officials and Mayor Mike Duggan heralded the decision. The ruling means the lawsuit against the state of Michigan can proceed to trial. It's now up to Governor Gretchen Whitmer to decide whether to fight the case in court or to settle.
Hi, this is Kathleen Gray, and I cover state and national politics for the Detroit Free Press. Republicans in the Michigan legislature have called for an extraordinary special session Friday. They want to create an oversight committee to examine how Governor Gretchen Whitmer has handled the coronavirus crisis in Michigan. They also want to strip some of the power of the governor's office to declare a state of emergency in times of public crisis. The session comes at a time when more than 35,000 people have tested positive and nearly 3,000 Michiganders have died from COVID-19. Republicans believe that Whitmer's stay-at-home orders have gone too far and are threatening to tank Michigan's economy. Whitmer said her actions have helped to ease the spread of the virus. She has promised to veto any bills that reach her desk that limit the power of the governor.
I'm Frank Witzel with the Detroit Free Press. The ancient Greek historian Herodotus wrote that neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night could stay the swift completion of a postal carrier's appointed rounds. But Herodotus made no mention of a pandemic. Perhaps these days what's happening is more like the fictional 1990s Hollywood movie The Postman, in which actor Kevin Costner dons a letter carrier's uniform in a future ravaged by a plague, and he ends up inspiring hope. The mail has slowed, but if we are in a war with the virus, postal workers are on the front lines. Mail handlers are still sorting letters and packages, potentially exposing themselves to the virus. And letter carriers are too, trudging through the rain and snow, yes, snow, in April in Michigan to make their appointed rounds. To show their love for the post office, Americans have joined a social media campaign, #BuyStamps. And Amy Nagy, a teacher, is doing her part to help. She went online and bought a sheet of stamps that eventually will be delivered to her, how else? By a letter carrier.
I'm Susan Tompor, and I'm a columnist with the Detroit Free Press. The extra costs of preparing for the pandemic often meant spending $300 or $400 or more upfront to stockpile soups, pasta, cleaning supplies, toilet paper, and other groceries. But many families who had already been living paycheck to paycheck couldn't afford that extra expense. About 27% even took on more debt to buy those goods, according to a University of Chicago study. Now, many people are worried that they won't receive their stimulus checks or their jobless benefits in time to cover their rent for May or June. GreenPath Financial Wellness initially saw a 60% spike in calls from consumers asking how to get a forbearance on their mortgage. GreenPath offers free housing counseling and works with borrowers as they talk to their servicers about their options. Going forward, experts say consumers need to prepare for how to catch up and cover their bills in June, July, and August, even after those stimulus checks arrive.
Dave Burkett here, live from my home office here in suburban Detroit. The Detroit Lions' first pick in the 2020 draft is in, number 3 overall. They do not trade down. They take Ohio State cornerback Jeff Okudah. And if you followed any of my mock drafts, if you followed anything that I've written so far here this offseason, I think it's the right pick. Look, end of the day, the Lions had 3 solid choices on defense to choose from. Jeff Okudah, the cornerback that they ended up taking, Derek Brown, the defensive tackle from Auburn, throw Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker from Clemson, in that mix as well. I don't think they could have gone wrong, but I think Okudah is the right choice for reasons that I've laid out plenty of times so far, and that is he fills a need. He's the type of scheme fit the Lions like at the cornerback position. He has the type of football personality that the Lions like. I mean, this is a guy that loves football by all accounts. He's a tough guy. It means something to him. He's a good character, a high character guy. That's important to the Lions. And then most importantly, it's about the value of that position in today's NFL. Look, I don't think Derek Brown would have been a bad pick, a poor pick. I don't think Isaiah Simmons would have been a poor pick. But in today's NFL, the cornerback position is so much more valuable than some of the other spots. It, to me, is after the quarterback position. I think you could put cornerback right up there with defensive end and left tackle as the most important positions on the field.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. And sign up for the Daily Briefing newsletter. See you on Monday.